Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead of them and their companies. I'm your host, Olivia Salmons, and in each episode we'll uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today I'm excited to be joined by Jen Peterson, social media strategist, coach, and founder of Slay Social with Jen, where she helps entrepreneurs grow online with confidence, clarity, and content that actually converts. Jen specializes in simplifying social media, supporting founders who feel overwhelmed by platforms and algorithms to show up consistently, build visibility, and turn content into real opportunities. Jen, welcome to Founders Future. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
No, it's a pleasure to have you here, and I'm really excited to dive in and learn more about your journey. So, with all of my guests, I do actually like to start at the beginning. So, if you don't mind briefly taking me back to what it was you was doing before you started up Slay Social, and then from there, What was the motivation behind it?
Sure. So I have a little bit of a funny trailing and, interesting story. I got my undergrad degree was actually in psychology, which makes sense and helps me now, so it works out. But I was actually a mortician for a time. So I spent some time in funeral service, transitioned into hospital administration for 11 years, and then I worked in a med spa for a little while. So the med spa was my catalyst to jump into social media marketing. I was asked on top of my front desk duties to start posting the social media. And of course I did that. And I learned that on the business side, there were analytics and you could see how many people saw your posts, and there were things that you could do to affect that reach. And being the neurodivergent entrepreneur that I am, I dove right into all of that and went into the rabbit hole of social media marketing and have not surfaced since. So it's been about 3.5 years since that transition. And like we always say, it should be studied how we can jump from just being interested in a topic to building a whole business and personality around it.
100% the superpower at its finest. And
Yep.
I have ADHD myself, and I really understand what you're going through. As soon as you see a pattern or a nuance, it becomes like a game in my brain, and you have to
Exactly.
conquer, get to the next level. Like, what is that process? So how did you find
Exactly.
that, like, jumping from obviously what was a job into being an entrepreneur yourself? Was there any experiences you could draw through that journey?
Yeah, of course. So it is a little different, I think, the journey for neurodivergent entrepreneurs. And I think it's important to say that I jumped in, I wanted to just do the work that I loved. And then you realize, oh goodness, I actually have to have some structure and some internal discipline and motivation, and executive functioning is a pretty important piece of running a business. So I had a funny little stop and start journey. And at first I took it really seriously. And I think the most important piece for me was learning just it's okay to fail a little bit, because then you learn. You're like, oh, I need this in place, or I need this system to support me. And I'm just not good at that. And that's okay. Because I think we go into it wanting to do everything ourselves because at first we don't have any money and all of that. But we very quickly learn what we're really good at and what our zone of genius is and what it's not. So important to just be okay with that and roll with that. And then eventually, as you grow, learn to hire out those pieces that are not your genius.
Yeah, 100%. It's almost like patching the boat as you move along, but not letting it
Right.
sink the whole way through.
Exactly.
Really cool. And so let's dive into Slay Social with Jen a little bit more then. So walk me through then. At this point, who would you say is your ideal client? Who do you really love to work with? And then from there, how is you help them and how do you support them?
Sure. So I've evolved from, I started doing done for you content. So people would come to me
Okay.
and I actually made a lot of carousels, reels, strategy. I did all of that. But then I also was in the business doing their content and actually hitting post. And I have evolved my business to now I look at more of the strategy and I help them learn how to make the content themselves. Sometimes business owners, they really do want to be able to execute the strategy themselves, but they just don't know where to start. So I have a program that helps with just learning that process so that you can do it yourself. But I no longer make content for clients any longer. And then what I consider to be my specialty or zone of genius is meta ads.
Nice.
So I love organic content, but we all know it's the long game and it takes time and it's frustrating and it's not very dopamine inducing. And so for us that are chasing that and loving just the fun of getting a lot of reach and visibility on our content, that meta ads are where it's at. To circle back and answer your question, the client that I love to work with has been doing this for a little while. They know the importance of social media. They know they have to do it. It's a prerequisite for owning a business in this day and age. They're willing to get on camera if they have to, and they just know the value that social media marketing brings to their company.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. And social media marketing, as you say, it's a great way to get that dopamine and just speed things along. You have constant success coming through. But even if you have taken the organic route, adding that on top just builds an amazing consistency that will allow you to like just continue to scale. So having that
Exactly.
as knowledge is incredible. Is there a specific niche or even a specific sector of people that you like to work with?
You know what? I really don't. I love working with all different kinds of businesses. I
Nice.
think it keeps my
Yeah.
focus there. I've worked from everything with dog walkers to med spas. For some reason, my messaging and my approach really attracts a lot of boutiques and med spas. So I just go with that. I love working with them. I love beautiful clothing and aesthetics and stuff too. So I can take that creative part of me and help them in their business. So that's just happened naturally. I know it's the advice to niche down, and I am a rebel with that. I just love having the diversity in my business and being able to challenge my own skills because every business is different. It will require a different strategy. And I understand why niching down is so important and why people do it, but I don't see myself doing that anytime soon.
In that aspect, we don't practice what we preach. But I
Right.
do think it also has, in specifically in your field, when it comes to content creation, I feel like it can bring a more unique approach to it as well when you do help a different variety of sectors. Because there could be something
Exactly.
you're publishing for a med spa, for example, but they'll actually work well for a restaurant that no one else would have thought of because they've not done that avenue as well. So I think there's
Exactly.
like place for it both sides. And then what is it like to work with you, Jen? So how long do you typically spend with your clients? I know you pivoted more to a done with you service. So what does that
Mhm.
process look like?
So my process is that we get together for 90 days and we really just go hard. So I have a really high touch program. We meet every week. We go through your content. We record content together if you're local. Sometimes we'll do stuff. If we're not local, I'll send you all the shot lists. We'll edit videos together. It is really, and that's what my clients love is because it's a balance between what's available now, which are courses. And I don't know about you, but I cannot focus on a course, and that's what business owners say that a lot, or having it done for you. So this is like the perfect balance of being able to learn it yourself, have some help, because I know I felt this way in the beginning of my business, and many business owners tell me this. They're like, I wish someone would just like sit down and show me how to do it. So that's what this program is. We really work together each week to keep furthering the cause and getting to know your results, getting to know how you work, how your brain understands this knowledge and breaks it down. Like I said, 90-day program, 1 hour a week. And then there's programs after that to supplement and keep the awesome momentum going after we finish that starter 90-day program.
Amazing. I love it. And as you say, more of a hybrid model, which I completely agree with as well, because
Yeah,
yes, time comes in hand and we need to follow along, but also it's really important for any founder or any entrepreneur in that position to understand each step of what's going on in their business. And marketing is such a key
exactly.
process for that, to understand every process. So before you even hand over the role, you need to have a complete understanding of it yourself. And just that
Sure.
accountability from having you on the other end of the phone, making sure they are
Right.
actually doing what they
Right.
need.
No, they
Yeah,
know their meeting is coming up that week. And so I think many of them scramble to do it the night before, and it
really.
doesn't matter to me when it's done.
It's like the end of day
So,
homework. Like when ADHD people have to get
exactly.
that exam result in 4 hours before they're still cracking along.
Cram. Yeah.
Literally. But also as well, I'm curious to see how you go about marketing yourself. So like in terms of platforms, processes, funnels, like what are you really finding effective for yourself in finding that right person to work with?
Sure. So the way that I find people to work with me is a lot of word of mouth. So I spend a lot of time visible in my community in person and just building relationship and connection. And honestly, I really haven't had to. I do run ads and I do some outreach, but very little, honestly.
Yeah.
I run a women's networking group. I am in as a member of a women's networking group. And then I do a variety of different philanthropy things out in the community and just really get to know the entrepreneurs in my community. And so
Yeah.
then many of them have worked with me and loved what we've done together. So they'll recommend me to their friends. So I think my work is about 50-50 local people to me, and then 50% people all over the United States that got referred by a friend or things like that. So I really take that seriously.
Yeah, and referrals are really cool because it does prove that no like trust factor. It's a really nice connection you already have with somebody, they know your work, and it's just a smooth sailing
Exactly.
process. Interesting you don't
Yeah.
write ad for yourself though. Is that more because you don't need to at the moment, or it's just something that is biding its time to come out?
I do intermittently, and I did a lot more in the beginning, and mostly I just don't need to. So my program's pretty packed. I have a wait list, and people get on it, and it's long, and I just grab from the wait list, and I'm really blessed to have that. So if I do, it's usually I'm experimenting on something or trying to grow a certain area in my business that needs a little bit of love. So I do run them for myself, but it's really just based on the need in my business
Yeah.
that month or that season.
So it makes sense. So just driving it where you need to, and as you say, adding it on when the time comes. And what does the team look like behind you as well, Jenny? Are you still as open and juggling those hats, putting out the fires where you need to, or do you have help and support, like maybe on the side of marketing, sales, or fulfillment coming in?
Yeah, so the structure of my business is that my husband and I are couplepreneurs. So he is the digital technology genius behind what I do. So he supports me
Nice.
with automation and he is a high-level software developer. So I can give him my vision and he makes it come to life. And then we also will hire on for different projects if we need specialty things. We do have a VA that we just onboarded, and so she helps us with certain admin tasks. That's been the hardest thing for me to let go of. So I'm still learning, I'm still growing in that area, but it's really lean and intentional. And yeah, we just bring in what we need.
I love that. So it's a proper family affair. We've got
Ah,
the whole household helping
truly.
out. I love that.
Yep.
And what is your plans to grow them with the company? Like, what do the next 6 to 12 months have in store for you when you think of that vision and taking the next step?
Sure. So the next 6 to 12 months for me looks like really getting some systems behind me, really scaling to the point where I am no longer the bottleneck and I am not so needed in my business. I just want to show up and coach and connect with my people and have everything else being done outside of my knowledge. And we're so close. My marketing, I just pivoted my business into Go High Level. So I'm hoping to really leverage all of the beautiful things that Go High Level has for businesses. So really just taking my own advice that I give and actually building for myself what I've built for 3 years for other clients, for my clients. So really just taking a back seat to all of the admin tasks and all of those nitty-gritty details that I really don't need to be a part of anymore and really focusing in on my zone of genius. So scaling with focusing on the right things and doing less of the wrong things.
Yeah, as you say, just doing what I want to do. I don't
Yeah,
need to
I
move
just
around
want to
and
do
be
what I
like,
want to do.
yeah, it's my job. I
Typical
want to do this. This is
ADHD.
what we're gonna do.
Exactly.
Really cool. And like, where are you finding the biggest challenge for yourself then in taking the next step, growing the team and moving forward?
Yeah, I think that my biggest challenge is letting other people help me, delegating, realizing that I don't need to be a part of every single thing. I really never want my business to feel like it's run by automation. I really want people to know that every piece of it is intentional and made by me because I think that's what people love about working with me. So I don't want to lose what people really genuinely seek me out for. But I also don't, I have really burnt myself out the last year being involved in every piece. And I want to build my own capacity for more of what I love is the
Yeah.
relationship and just getting the discipline enough to say, okay, this is offloaded, this is delegated, and let it stay delegated and resist the temptation to pick it back up. I think we just grow so much as people. I always say entrepreneurship is the fastest personal development tool you will ever pick up. And that has been really true for me. I look back on who I was when I started and who I am now, and that built capacity is truly amazing. So I just want to continue that work.
Yeah, I love it. It is actually amazing how much you can do when you, as you say, put your mind to it. And entrepreneurship really does force you to put your mind to stuff. So it teaches you a lot.
Truly.
Yeah. And like, in what one kind of way are you looking to grow the team them to alleviate some of those jobs yourself? Are you looking to maybe bring on some AMs and help with the fulfillment side and just like really focus on what you need to do?
Yep. So we are really leaning into AI agents this year.
Okay.
So my husband specializes in building AI agents and bots and all of that stuff. So we're gonna lean into the technology, which I think we must. I don't think we really have a choice. So we're going to leverage as much AI as we can, and then as much actual human help as well. So I know that we can't do it. It would be great if AI could do everything. I know we're not quite there yet. Seeing which balances are right for us on each side with that human
Yeah.
touch, and then also what we can just give to AI and have that built.
Yeah, I think it's a nice balance. AI is definitely there to be used, so use it amazingly. And then just keeping that
Mhm.
authentic with the human touch coming into it is a really nice soft
Right.
approach to it. Really,
Yep.
really cool. And Jen, I have one final question to ask you before we log out for the day. So, if you could go back in time to the start, maybe to the start of your own entrepreneurship journey, and you could only leave yourself with one piece of advice moving forward, something you know now, but that you didn't know then, what would you say to yourself?
Oh goodness, so many things. But I think the main thing is to heck with what they think. I spent a lot of time worrying so much about how I was showing up in my own marketing and in coaching, and like I just didn't show up as authentically as I could have in the beginning, which I think was a bottleneck. And I wish I could like just implant a little bit of confidence in my former self. It is part of the journey. Every step is there for a reason, but just stop worrying about all the noise around me and what this entrepreneur is doing and this guru, and just really center in on what I am doing. And that's what really brings a unique magic to what I have to offer. So stop just giving so much power away to the thoughts of other people around you, which easier said than done. But
Very much easier said than done, but a rule that should be applied to life, not just to business. So
exactly.
it is something to practice. But Jen, thank you so
Absolutely.
much for joining me today and for sharing your incredible journey and
Yes.
insight with us. Where can our listeners reach out to work with you or connect with you if they would like to do so?
You can come hang with me on my Instagram at Slay Social with Jen. And then obviously my website is a great place to connect with me and take a look over what I have to offer and what that looks like in your business, slaysocialwithjen.com.
Beautiful stuff. And thank you again. And to our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to go and check out Jen and all the amazing work that she's doing. And do not forget to subscribe to Founders Future via wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you are a business owner, specifically a coach, consultant, or agency owner, and you're really looking to scale your business and you want to enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to hop on a call with one of our team and discover how we went from zero to $30 million per year in less than 3 years. But until then, keep on climbing, and we will see you on the next one.